What's going on, foodies, chefs, food lovers across the world? Welcome back to Chop It Up with Potluck, where food is family, food is comfort, and as always, food is love. We got the team here with us. Oh, there we go. Yes, yes. We got the team here with us. Let's do some short intros, starting with the Queen Bee.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sinclair Walker, and I am the CEO of Potluck Community.
The crowd goes wild. We'll go over to Miss Lady.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Wilson, and I am the head chef of Ladies Kitchen here in Riverside, California.
Mhm. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Over to the King Walker over there.
Morning, everyone. My name is Delton Walker, and I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer for Potluck Community.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right. And then what's up, y'all? Devon Walker, Chief Brand Officer of Potluck Community. And let's go ahead and start chopping it up. All right, let's get right to it. Last time, for some reason, we fell upon Crockpots. I don't know how we got there, to be honest with you, but somehow we got to talking about Crockpots. And I know last time we were like, let's actually bring folks some recipes that they can use. I know in California, the weather's been a little bit gloomy, a little bit on the cold side. So I think it is a perfect season for Crockpots. If you're not in California, first off, sorry. That you may be experiencing some real snow, but yeah, even better for a Crockpot season. So we're gonna go around, and if folks have a specific recipe that they want to bless the community with, feel free to go ahead and bless them with a specific Crockpot recipe. But if you don't have a recipe, let's just talk about what is a good Crockpot dish that you maybe want to learn.
Some tips.
Or some tips that you have. All right. So the theme is Crockpots nationwide. We'll start off with Miss Lady over there, head chef of Ladies Kitchen, because I feel like she may have some goodness ready for y'all.
I actually have, I think I mentioned before, so I gave them a hint. So I'm gonna actually give you the proper exact name of the recipe for the outrageous warm chicken nacho dip. I'm going to even tell you that I'm going to make it today.
Come
Okay.
on.
Nice.
So I can tell you exactly, my little tips for the recipe. So again, if you just go to allrecipes.com, and the proper name that you'll find it is outrageous warm chicken nacho dip. But honestly, if you probably just type in chicken nacho dip, it's going to come up. It's got quite a few ratings on there. But simply the ingredients are like a can of diced tomatoes, chilies, and I use the Rotello. 1 pound of processed cheese, Velveeta.
Can't go wrong with Velveeta's. It doesn't go right with my body, but taste wise.
Exactly.
It's been sitting out on the counter overnight. I'm just like, what?
Oh, listen, but taste is good stuff.
And then you've got some chicken breasts that you need to cook chicken breasts. So what I do is I actually just buy one of those baked chickens at the store. Because then, I come home and then I eat a leg and a wing, and then my husband eats a leg and a wing. And then, between the thighs or what, and I can usually use the thigh meat too, and the breast meat. So you're just going to cut it all up in some cubes. You need a 1/3 cup sour cream, 1/4 cup green chili. And again, I use jalapenos. That's what's in my refrigerator. And 1.5 tablespoons of taco seasoning mix. That could be any taco seasoning mix. We always, us, we go to our go-to is Lowry's.
Lowry's. Can't
go
wrong.
Shout out to Lowry's. Send me something, Lowry's. And then jalapenos, I said, and then black beans. So a can of black beans, you might want to drain them a little bit. And some green onions. Did I see the green onions on here? Because green onions I've been putting the green onions. What? Put the green onions in there.
Gotta have the green. Yes.
Put the green onions in there. I don't know where it is on here, but put the green onions. So about a 1/4 cup of green onions, chop that up and put it in there. Now, normally, if you have about 6 or more people, you may want to double the recipe.
Do it.
You might still can get away with using the whole chicken. So if you're going to double the recipe, use all the leg meat, use all the meat for the chicken, unless you want to just buy 2 chickens. It's up to you. I'm just trying to save you a little money. Tell you what I do. I can double the recipe. You can still put an extra can of black beans in it, make it filling, so you still have a little bit more chicken. But the one tip I'm going to share, because some people have an issue with Velveeta, and I'm one of them, is that if I'm doubling the recipe, I will use the pound of Velveeta that calls for just a single recipe. But then I add like regular shredded cheddar cheese. So I break up the Velveeta. So the cheese can be a little bit of your preference. You do need some Velveeta in there so it spreads smooth. But if you don't like that flavor, or you want to break up that flavor a little bit, you can add in like some nacho cheese, which is a blend of like the pepper jack and cheddar, however you choose to do it.
Yeah, I think when I do it, I do half and half. So I'm like you.
Exactly.
I don't the taste of Velveeta. A little bit is fine for texture. After that, it starts to get a little iffy for me. So I do like half Velveeta, half like like you said, I think it's Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese.
Right. Yeah. And then it says to usually drain your the rotella. You may want to drain it a little bit. Keep the little juice on the side just in case you need it after it's done in the crock pot and it's too thick. Another thing to do if it's too thick, throw a little jalapeno juice in there.
There it is.
If you like that spiciness.
Yeah, we do. So that is the outrageous warm chicken nacho dip. There it is. If you didn't get all those, you can either rewind, watch it again, or go to allrecipes.com, as Miss Lady said, and go ahead and search outrageous chicken nacho dip. Add the green onions. It's a must. Yeah, 100% pro tip. All right, going over to King Walker over there. If you have any crock pot recipes that you go to, some tips for folks getting into the world of crock pots worldwide, all that good stuff.
Crockpots worldwide.
Crockpots worldwide.
All right, so it's very interesting. So I believe we're talking about crock pots today because I brought up crock pots in the last.
It was you? Okay.
It was me.
Okay.
I was the one, right? So what's odd about it is, personally, I myself have never made anything in a crock pot. Although I love eating food that's been made in crock pot. When I go to like potlucks or, friends' house or whatnot, they always make things in crock pots. So what I've always wanted to do myself personally, is oxtails. I love oxtails. So actually, I went to a thrift store at this point about a month and a half ago. I finally purchased my own crock pot.
Here we go.
And I go out and get myself an oxtail recipe so I can like break it in and cook for myself oxtails for the first time.
Go ahead, let me know. Hopefully we can make this a special occasion. That way I can eat these oxtails.
Well, let me try it out first. Let me refine my skills.
Okay.
Perfect it. You know what I mean? And then I invite you over for a special occasion. You can get
February?
Say it again?
February?
February. I'll practice from now and then. I'll perfect it by then. There it is.
Okay. Hey, it's on. It's on. Miss Lady has an oxtail recipe. I don't know if she used a
jerk
pot.
I did not, but you can. But it was with jerk seasoning, so I would strongly suggest if you want to, have some good flavor in there, use the jerk seasoning with them.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So, are you gonna pass that recipe over to me since we family and everything? You gonna pass it down?
I will pass it over to you, for sure.
There it is, exclusive.
There you go.
We honestly just made them this week.
All right, good stuff. So in the near future, we will report back how these jerk crock pot oxtails phenomenon went. All right, over to Boss Lady CEO. What do you have for us? Either a crock pot recipe or some tips and tricks for the folks out there?
Honestly, I have not used a crock pot since I was in college. However, The main thing that I have used a crock pot for is one, the chicken nacho dip. I have been hosted or not hosted. I mean, I think you did have a Super Bowl party or some type of parties with that chicken nacho dip, and it is always a hit. It is always the first thing gone. But the other thing is chicken and dumplings that I have made in the crock pot. Yeah, and that is a delicious, especially a like on a cold day, that warm chicken and dumplings is it's so good. But basically what I would do for that is, if you want to do it real simple, is you get a rotisserie chicken already made. You can also get the raw chicken and dice that up, but basically you just put all the ingredients in there. I have a reference recipe.
Yeah, get the facts.
All right.
Facts.
So you got the chicken, you put some onions in there, you want some carrots. If you're not familiar with chicken and dumplings, it's almost like a chicken soup, but instead of noodles, you have dumplings. So yeah, onions, carrots, celery, and then for flavor, this is really before I was really, chefing it up. I probably would do it from scratch from now, but for flavor, I used cream of chicken soup, and then I believe I mixed it with cream of mushroom soup, and I used those, and add some, chicken stock or vegetable broth, whichever. And really the flavor of the soup is kind of what gives the whole dish the flavor. Let's see what else. I said chicken, onions, carrots, celery. Oh, and then for the dumplings, again, if I was doing it now, I'd probably make them from scratch. But back then, what I would do for a really easy way to make some very good dumplings is you take some Pillsbury or, some refrigerated biscuit dough, cut that into little pieces and just place it, and after it's already made, after all the chicken dumplings are already made and ready to go, put the biscuit dough on top and then close it again, and that steam will basically cook the biscuits just enough to where they're like a dumpling texture. So it's not going to be like a full baked, it's going to have a different texture to when you bake the biscuits. To kind of let the heat of the chicken and dumplings cook the biscuits, and so that it's so good, because you get that sweet biscuit dough, and again, it's really soft. So that's a really easy way to make some dumplings. Again, you basically you put everything in the crock pot, you leave it for some hours. Once it's in a soup-like texture, it's nice and creamy and thick, then you put the biscuits on top. Basically, you just cover the whole top of the crock pot, put the top back on, let it sit for a little bit, let them cook, and there you go. You got chicken and dumplings.
Would you suggest that, you said on a nice cold day, maybe if you're feeling a little, go ahead and get your chicken and dumpling?
Definitely. It's a good, like, instead of chicken noodle soups, maybe you switch it up to chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, chicken and dumpling for your soul. There you go. Exclusive right here. As y'all know, on the last episode, I'm not necessarily the chef in the household. You see the chef bullery that I'm going through right
Bullery.
now? The bullery. I don't know if that's a real word, but it is right now. The bullery. So yeah, I'm not the top tier chef, but what I would say, is a nice jambalaya. This can be crock pot, or I have more experience in making it in a rice cooker, but kind of similar. You just go ahead, put the stuff in there, let it sit, come back 2 hours later, and you got some amazing jambalaya. Back in the day, I used to use the Zetarans. Yeah, you remember how I used to throw down back in the day. Come on, you get the Zetarans, but definitely spice it up a little bit. Add some more Lowry's, add some jalapenos in there, add some bell peppers, add some onions. You get your shrimp. You get, if you want to, chicken. You get your beef links in there, and then it's a little bit of extra rice, and you got yourself some really good fired custom Devon jambalaya right there. I don't use recipes like that.
I appreciate that suggestion.
There you go. Look,
I have not thought about doing jambalaya in the crock pot, but I could see it.
I think outside the box over here. Personally, I don't use a lot of recipes. When I do,
even when baking.
Yeah, even when baking, it's been an interesting experience. But baking powder is needed, apparently. Baking powder.
Yes, when you're baking.
Yes. It was news to me. But Any other tips, tricks that we want to give folks before we wrap up today's edition of Chop It Up? Folks out there that are hoping to get into the journey of using a crock pot or some just like a sit and cook style, right? Generally a sit and cook style. Any other tips or tricks you want to give folks?
I would just suggest for the working family, you know, crock pot is just wonderful when you just want to just get a chunk of meat. So if you want to partially cook your meal, maybe not cook the whole thing in a meal, or you're not sure what, but it's always nice and easy just to throw, sear a piece of meat, whether it be beef, pork, whatever, sear it up, season it up, and then just throw it in the crock pot. And the smell when you come home, the tenderness of the meat. You can thicken up your sauce at that time later. So you can make a gravy after the fact by just, you know, adding some flour or cornstarch with the juice, but you can do wonders with just once you cook that meat. You can make whatever it is, and you can have enough meat to last you over 2 or 3 nights doing different things with it. We've done it with beef, we've done it with pork. You can, you know, make Mexican. You can change it up and then turn it into some type of sandwiches later. So wonderful.
Oh yeah, and I forgot, my mom used to make some really good corned beef in the crock.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That stuff was fire.
I've never had corned beef.
Listen, on one of our cheat days, we need to try some corned beef. It was good.
Yes,
Oh.
very tender, very flavorful. Yes, excellent.
King Walker over there, any last minute tips for folks out there trying to get into the crockpot world?
Yep, no real tips from me because I've never done it, but I've always wanted to. So the advice I'd have for people is don't procrastinate. Just give it a try. Practice. You'll get better at it the more you do it.
Love it. Love it. I love that we have different stages of chefs
Right.
on here. I think it shows. I like that. All right, go ahead, Queen.
I just think a crock pot is a good way because it really slow cooks. It's a really good way to really develop flavor, as opposed to, you know, you can definitely do it. All of the things we've talked about, you can do, you know, quicker in a stovetop pot, but you probably won't get quite as depth of the flavors. I feel like the crock pot really allows everything to really like marinate and slow cook and stew together. So all those flavors come together really nicely. So, you know, take one of your favorite soups or stews or something you normally do in a pot and try it in the crock pot. See, you know, it could really enhance the flavor of, you know, even just the broth or the soup or whatever that you're using. So give it a try.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and leave a comment what crock pot recipe you plan to use in 2021. Let us know. If you have some allrecipe.com or where do people get recipes on? I don't know. Google, yeah, whatever. Go ahead and share those links with us as well. Pinterest, all that good stuff. Share them with us, share it with the Potluck community. That way we can also experiment and yeah, get some of this good food with you. Thanks for tuning in to Chop It Up with the Potluck community, where food is family, food is delicious, and as always, food is love. There it is. All right.
Thank
Peace,
you.
y'all.